their morning workout? Let's look at the first equation. What digit is in the 10,000s place? Who can come up and write the number for me to show Michael? You underline it? How many of you guys got the same answer? Okay. Thank you. Jordan, you want to come up and do the second one, round to the nearest 100,000, and we're using the same number as the first one.
The smart board is not coming through. I don't know why on the video.
Thank you. How many of you guys got the same answer? It was the top number. Miss Hagedorn said that in the beginning. It was the top number for under Thursday. Right on top of that was the number that's on top. Let's start with 6. Samuel, what answer did you get for that equation?
6,500. 6,500,000.
How many of you guys got a different answer than what Samuel just said? I see on you, you have 7 million, but you're rounding to the nearest 100,000. Okay? Does anybody have any questions on that answer, on that problem? That's just a review of what you guys have been doing throughout the year. Now we're gonna skip to the last equation. A baby hippo weighs 67 pounds. An adult hippo weighs 28 times what the baby weighs. How much does the adult hippo weigh? Sam, can you come up and show me how you solve that? So he's doing his 2 by 2.
2 by 2.
Uh-huh. Nice. 2 zeros and 20 and 60.
What are you doing?
The last one. The last one under Thursday, the bottom, the word problem.
Can you just look for the other ones?
The last equation on Thursday.
This one.
The last equation. baby hippo weighs 67 pounds, and adult hippo weighs 28 times what the baby weighs. How much does the adult hippo weigh? Okay, so what Sam did was he broke apart the 67 in his array, that's 60 plus 7 up here, and then 28. So 20 times 60, you have 2 zeros, and you wrote 2 zeros first. 6 times 2 is 12. 20 times 7, you have 1 0, and 2 times 7 is 14, so he's fine there. 60 times 8, we have 1 0. 8 times 6 is 48, and 8 times 7 is 56. So his multiplication is fine. Now we're gonna go and add. Now remember, there's 2 ways you can add the 4 numbers, or Miss Hagedorn was telling you guys how you can just add each column and then add those 2 numbers to make it so that you're not adding so many numbers at once. So he brought over the 1200, the 480, the 140, and the 56, and he added those numbers. So he had 6, 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 8 is 17, carried is 1, 4 plus 1 is 5, 7 and 8, and brought down the 1. Does anybody have any questions? What did you have, Michael? 1,095. You need to see, the thing is, if you need to use another piece of paper, that's fine, because the way you kind of squeezed all the numbers in there, it becomes confusing for you. So 6 times 2 is 1,200, but I don't see that. I just see 2 zeros here. You don't have the 1,200. Because you made the box too small. You can use another piece of paper and staple it to that to show your work. With math, guys, especially word problems, you have to be organized and clear when you're making these boxes. If you make them real tiny and squeeze numbers in and not erase properly, you're going to confuse yourself, because you're adding, at the end, you're going to end up adding 4, 5, 6 numbers. If you can't even read what you wrote, it's definitely going to confuse you and you will get the wrong answer. Okay, so you need to be nice and neat and organized. And there's no problem with getting another sheet of paper and using that and then stapling that to your worksheet. Okay, let's take out last night's homework, math homework. Okay.
JoJo. Just make a note.
Okay, I'm gonna come around and check off whoever does not have their homework completed will get negative points on the class dojo. I'm just checking, and I need to see work. Soya, your homework,
I didn't really get it.
you didn't really get it?
I don't think so. I don't remember. This is right there. Oh, right here. This one. No, that one. Yeah, this one. Oh, but you're, like, you got one for
This.
I have this, but I have this.
Okay.
But I don't.
Is this your work?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, but I don't think you're allowed to have paper.
Oh, everybody else did. And if homework is on the board right there, that's your responsibility to say, what math worksheet? I didn't get one. Khalid, do you have yours? if you have it, please put it out where I can see it, not under papers.
You lost your days points for not being prepared.
Where's yours? Look what it says under Wednesday over there. Did you write that in your agenda, math worksheet?
There's this one place.
So did you come to think what the math worksheet was? Do you have it? You have it, but you didn't do it. Okay, Zoya, George, and Khalid, you'll get negative points on the class dojo,
And everybody else gets
and
positive.
everybody else will get a positive point. Okay. Let's see. For a school fundraiser, Joe needs to sell 62 rolls of wrapping paper. So far, he has sold 6 rolls to his grandmother, 3 rolls to his uncle, and 5 rolls to a neighbor. How many more rolls of wrapping paper does Joe need to sell? Abdullah, you want to come up and solve that one for us? What he's doing first is adding the numbers of wrapping paper that Joe has sold so far to his family. Jordan, can you sit up, please? Kelly, since you didn't do your homework, you need to write down what he's doing so you have that to look at as an example. You guys have a test tomorrow. Which one do you think? I just read it out loud, the first one. You don't have one, Zoya? Use that and solve what each person is doing on each equation so you have it for practice. Thank you. Look at yours for 1 second. Okay. So what Abdullah did first was he added up the rolls of wrapping paper that Joe had sold. He sold 6 to his grandmother, 3 to his uncle, and 5 to his neighbor, and he added those, which was 14. That's good. And he needed to sell a total of 62 rolls of wrapping paper. So he subtracted 62 from 14, which is 14 is how many he sold, and he had an answer of 48 rolls. And in the way he wrote it, he wrote, Joe needs to sell 48 more rolls of wrapping paper. Very good, Abdullah. I like the way you wrote the answer in a complete sentence because you're answering exactly what the question is. How many more rolls of wrapping paper does Joe need to sell? You read this, you have the answer. It's really important in a word problem to try to answer back in a complete sentence because sometimes if you, say for example, he just did this wrong and he had, Joe needs to sell 148 more rolls. You would just think to yourself, okay, if he needs to sell a total of 62, 148, it just wouldn't make sense. And that's why if you write it back in a complete sentence, it kind of triggers you to think because solving a word problem is like solving a story. It's like a piece of a puzzle. You have to think to yourself, does this number make sense? So when you write it out, that's really helpful. Okay, the second question. The PTA is buying Bunn Elementary School brand new green and yellow t-shirts for grades 3 through 5. The PTA had to get a count of how many students they needed to order shirts for. The third grade had 6 classes of 24 students each. Fourth grade had 6 classes of 25 students each. And fifth grade had 5 classes of 23 students each. How many shirts did the PTA have to order? Omar, do you want to come up and solve that for us, please? Start on this side so you have room to do numbers. Forgot to do it.
Forgot to write the S for this.
Let's read this again. The PTA had to get a count of how many students they needed to order shirts for. The third grade had 6 classes of 24 students each. So there were 6 classes, and each class had 24 students. Okay, the fourth grade had 6 classes of 25 students each, and fifth grade had 5 classes of 23 students each. How many shirts did the PTA have to order? Okay, let's see. Does anybody else want to come take a shot at it? Katie? There's a lot of numbers there. Remember what I said. You have to show your work and be organized and neat, because when you read that, you see like 8 or 9 numbers, and it can get confusing real quick if you're not
Well,
writing out everything.
This one may be one that lends itself to making a chart or a table.
Yeah, yeah.
Explain, Katie, what you're doing.
I'm multiplying 24 times 6, and I
For-
need to get an answer of 144.
What does that tell you?
How many third grade classes?
Oh, okay.
So in the third grade, how many students do we have? Now Katie's gonna do the fourth grade. They're same thing, 6 classes, but the classes have 25 students. So the fourth grade needs 150 t-shirts. sorry,
Mine has 369.
for the total?
Yes.
Okay, let's go through what Katie did here. For third grade, there was
No, it's
6
wrong.
classes and 24 students, okay? So she broke out 24 here, and there were 6 classes. 6 times 20, you have 1 0. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 4 is 24. And the same thing, exactly the same way she set it up for the 4th grade. 6 classes, 25 students in each class. 6 times 2 is 12. You have 1 0. And 6 times 5 is 30. So she added those two and had 150. So that, so far we have the 3rd grade, the 4th grade, and this is the 5th grade. 23 students in each class of 5th grade. 5 times 2, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, guys. She brought down the one, there's only 1 0 there, but 5 times 2 is 10. So we have 100. 5 times 3 is 15. So she added the 144, the 150, and the 115. Those are the totals from the 3rd grade, the 4th grade, and the 5th grade. The PTA needs 409 shirts. That's total what the PTA needs for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Does anybody have any questions on that? Thank you, Katie. You did a good job on that. An adult ticket to the movie Toy Story 3 is $12. A child's ticket to the same movie is $5. How much would it cost 3 adults and 6 children to go to the movie? Ignat? A child's ticket? There's 6 children. Very good, thank you. See, this is where your math facts come in, guys. It's a real simple equation, but if you don't know your math facts, it's easy to get it wrong. So what he did is, it was $12, it cost $12 for an adult to go to the movie, for one adult. He multiplied it times 3 because we had 3 adults going. Children's ticket was $5, and we had 6 children going. So 5 times 6 is 30. He added how much it would cost for the 3 adults to the 6 children. $66 is what they had to pay for all 9 people to go to see the movie. Any questions? Last equation. Sammy and Adam like to walk around the park together every weekend. The park is 3 miles around. On Saturday, they walked around the park 4 times. Bless you. On Sunday, they walked around the park 6 times. How many more miles did they walk Sunday than Saturday? Neural, you want to come up? the second sentence here is saying the park is 3 miles around. So what Nurul did is he multiplied 3 times 4, because on Saturday they walked around the park 4 times. And on Sunday they walked around the park 6 times. So how many more miles did they walk Sunday than Saturday? What did everybody else get on that equation? Tiffany?
6.
You got 6? What did you do different that you got 6?
I did even
I'm talking to Tiffany.
I can't subtract the lower number first. You have to subtract the biggest number. Yeah.
What do you think, Joe? Can you take away? Does that look better to you? Does that look correct? Right? Because you can't take away here. Can you tell me what you did wrong here? What about it? You have to put the larger number on the top when you're subtracting, right? Okay. So the answer is on Sunday, how many more miles did they walk Sunday than Saturday? They walked 6 more miles. On Sunday. So Nurul did a good job with his multiplication. Just needed to subtract with the 18 on top. You can't subtract with the smaller number on top. You can't take away. You can't have 12 up and subtract 18 from 12. It's not going to work. Okay? Any questions? Was anybody confused with the homework? Zoya? Zoya, I gave you an extra one that I had, mine, for you to follow. I know, but you didn't even solve a single equation. Why do you think I gave it to you? Just stick it in your notebook? I wanted you to follow through so that you have those examples so you can look at, since you didn't do it last night, for your test tomorrow. Okay, guys, if you can't help yourself. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is a little bit of pretty much everything we've done throughout the week. We're going to solve some word problems. I want you guys to get into groups, and it's going to be, you're going to be working with the, excuse my voice, with the person next to you. So you two can get together. You two, Sam and Christian, Nathan and Michael. Thomas, and this works right here with each other. Let's see. Omar, can you, or Khalid, can you go next to Omar over there and work with him? And then Tiffany and Jordan and Katie and Abdullah, okay? And I'm going to pass out 3 word problems to everybody. And then we'll check these together. You could do it on this paper, but like I said, remember, if you require more space, Don't use that as an excuse to get the problem wrong. There's nothing wrong with using the back, using another sheet of paper.
For this one, are we gonna check on the floor? Where the
I
carpet?
don't know, that's
I
reading,
need to
honey.
hear you guys discussing these equations with your partners. Yes. And I want everybody to solve these in complete sentences. I want an answer to the problem.
Gum factory is making 484 sticks of gum per day.
Okay, hurry up.
How many sticks of gum will the factory make in 60 days? So
Talk about it.
we're going to do like the box, and then okay. So 400. That's the value of.
Shouldn't
the
you write the original problem first?
Oh yeah, yeah. So 484 times 60.
Okay.
Okay, then so next.
I need you
numbers-
guys to talk to each other. You're supposed to be working together with your
the
partner.
next number is 80, and then 4 is the last one. Now we're supposed to put
3 zeros.
60 plus 0.
Oh yeah.
And then we have to do 6 times 4. And 6 times 4 equals 24. So let's put 3 zeros.
See right there, look at Naughton. That's really difficult for you to read. You need to make a bigger box or you need to use another piece of paper. Let me get you guys a notebook, piece of notebook paper.
Okay, we can use the back. Over here. We can use the back.
I use recycled paper. You guys, please don't squeeze numbers and zeros. It's gonna just confuse you more. Why is everybody working? Everybody here is working with themselves. You need to be working with your partner, guys. You need to be talking. And at the end, I want complete sentences for your answer, not just a number.
So now, gum factory will make it. Then we're gonna do 100. We're gonna put 3 zeros. And then 6 plus 4 is 10. Oh, this is 10.
Can't see it. Talk your way through it, guys.
Just try to write bigger so you can see your numbers, guys. If you have 3 zeros and your last zero is barely squeezed in there, you're gonna miss it. What's 6 times 4? Let me see, Chris. See, you guys are not talking because if you were talking, you guys would catch that. 6 times 4, Samuel had 16. Right. We caught that. But if you guys are working together, what did you put here? You just told me 6 times 4 is what? And then why did you write 54?
Sam, you're not talking. You worked through it like, okay, now I'm waiting for you. That's not.
I told you guys to get another piece of paper if you need to.
Okay, we're done.
Now, I'm going to hand out calculators to each group. I don't want you to use them until you're done. To check your answers, okay? Does everybody understand? Just check. No, you do all 3 of them. But you use the calculators to check.
Hey, I'm almost done. I'm done.
You're not done.
No, you're not supposed to use it. Usually use it after you're done with it. You're supposed to use it.
Once you're done with all 3 equations, guys.
Where did you get that? Look, you have to add that. I know, but this one.
So that you're not.
What is 5? Give us 5 times 6. It's 10.
How did you write
2
2
0.
zeros?
5 times 6.
Write it like that.
I know, I wrote that.
Think about that. If you would, then you would still just show your work like that, so you could now just I would.
Second problem.
What do you need? What do you need?
I got 24,000. But then he's saying that he got.
Well, look at your zeros here. How many zeros should be in that answer? 60 times 80 is not 480. It's gotta watch those zeros. Makes it better.